So this part of the show, we normally have an interview, but this week we are without. And so we put a question to you. What's the worst film you can think of? And we got some answers here. I'll read the first one out. We'll take in turns here. So Walden Media jumped onto our Instagram and nominated The Fog from 2005. The comment was a poo emoji with that. That's a pretty fair call. That's a pretty horrendous movie.
Yeah, look, I would like to say that I went back and watched the Fog remake and it was actually fine. No. The movie... the thing that really... And I think I talked about
I'll
it
tell
on
you
the
what
show.
pisses me off about it, but you go.
But what I found so offensive is the Tom Welling character. And Tom Welling was, big from playing the nicest man in the universe, Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Goes into the Fog and he is just an asshole.
Yep.
So they basically take away any character that you could feel... You kind of feel empathy for the fucking leper pirates.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It is ridiculous.
So my bug, I mean, there's so many things to hate about this film, but my biggest bug to bear is the fact that the cheapest special effect you can have in Hollywood is a smoke machine, a fog machine, if you will. And yet it's all digital in the remake. Like, it would have cost them, I've got a smoke machine in my garage. I'm going to bust it out for my wife's 50th, right? And you're going to be there. And that's going to cost me $20 at the most for the fluid, put it in. Like, that's all the fog needed to have.
I was going to say, the second cheapest special effect in Hollywood is the rewind button in the edit suite, so you can make the fog withdraw.
Yeah, that's right.
And I rewatched the Fog on the weekend.
Yep.
He uses both those effects to great effect.
But not only does he use a reverse, he also uses big fans to change its direction and shift
Yeah.
it. Easy stuff, effective stuff. Yeah, good one. Walked Media, I agree. What's the next one?
Brody Kane, long-time listener, first-time... No, he's not the first-time caller. Long-time contributor, Brody Kane, says, Amityville 3. Fuck that movie and everyone involved on that.
I can't get behind this. I kind of like Amityville 3.
I'm trying to think of... Amityville 2 is was
Possession.
I felt like there was no need to go past that one because that is like the perfect movie. If you're into incest. And Britannia Alder and...
Number 3 is the Meg Ryan one, yeah?
Oh, no, fuck the 3D one.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking like that movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so moving on. Kane, what do you...
I like that movie.
What are
I
you
like the
talking
3D.
about?
We played it in 3D at Monster Fest, and it was pretty fucking good.
He must be thinking of a different movie.
I mean, look, I admit, there could have been more weird psychosexual stuff with Meg Ryan.
Talk about a really fucked up franchise that's gone off the rails because I think it must be like it must be free to get your hands on the property of Amityville because you've got Amityville in space, you got Amityville like
If Amityville went to back in time,
Amityville Shark, that kind of stuff.
I'd fucking pay to see Amityville Shark.
So here's an
Are
interesting...
you listening, Asylum? We've mentioned you twice on the show this week.
Interesting one mentioned before on the show on the Bonehead segment, and it is Chad Jennings from Bonehead Weekly. Slapstick of Another Kind. He says it's almost unwatchable.
I've never even heard of this.
This is you have, and you know the VHS cover, and I reckon you might even have it. It's got Jerry Lewis, and it's got bring it up. It's got some very famous comedians. I can't remember who they are now. It's not Mel Smith, is it? Bear with us, people. 82. There we go. Marty Feldman.
No, look. Okay. I remember this one.
Yeah, that's the
I remember
poster.
that cover.
Yes, exactly.
And I remember. I've never seen it. I remember looking at that and going, I have no interest in this.
But look at that cast. Like, it's got Pat Morita, Madeline Kahn, Jerry Lewis, Sam Fuller. Like, it's a fully chocked cast.
It does, but it feels like it's a kind of a Borscht Belt comedy film where after every joke, an old Jewish man has to go, aha.
Yeah. Now, I used to own this one, and I reckon I watched it when I was a kid. And as a kid, I thought it was pretty funny. But I'd love to watch it now with an adult mind.
I mean, I've completed to Madeline Kahn. I'm not going to lie. So
yes, especially in anyway, she's pretty good in Lifesavers.
I think it was what's the Western?
Oh,
I
can't think of it.
With the Gene Wilder.
Oh, Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God, yes.
When isn't she like Madeline von Stupp or something like that? Some kind of a name like that.
When I think of slapstick from another kind, there's two movies that come to mind that I confuse it with a bit at first. One is
Space Invaders.
Close. Morons from Outer
Morons
Space.
from Outer Space. Mel Smith.
That's the Mel Smith one I was thinking of. See, I confused it before.
Yeah.
And the other one is that is it 2001: A Space Travesty with Leslie Nielsen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, what's next?
I wish I could tell you, but I closed that window. Another good friend of the show, Samondo Hardcourt. Satan Tango?
Yep.
Satan Tango?
That's
Satan
it.
Tango?
Satan Tango, yep.
7.5 hours of, I went to art school. Shut the fuck up.
And yet, this is a reasonable thing. Like, whenever a movie's 7 hours, like, you got to question
Like,
it, right?
Pull your fucking head out of your ass.
But that is also a binge on the couch if it's a TV show. Like, this is the problem, you know? Like,
Yeah.
But this, at the time it came out, would have been theatrical. And from memory, when I looked this up a while ago, even before Simondo mentioned it, it was critically praised. Like, a lot of people, you know.
I'm sure, because the critics have
Wankers.
their heads up their ass just as much as the filmmakers do.
Wanker critics for sure.
That's why now when we go to media screenings, Glenn, there's so few film critics and so many influencers.
Yeah, that's right.
Because film critics are full of shit.
All right. Good friend of ours, Addison Heath, filmmaker. I don't know about these. Like, I can get behind kind of the first one. He says he hated The Last Jeepers Creepers a lot, number 3. I didn't mind it. It's the movie that bridges the first two. Sits right in the middle of the story. So you can watch them.
Is that
1, 3, and 2, and it's one
I'm
story.
trying to think of what happens in that one.
He's got the booby-trapped truck in number 3.
No, then I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I liked it a bit.
Because I feel like the second one kind of picks up pretty quick.
Number 2 is a bus.
Yeah.
Not a bus, yeah. No, but this one ends at the very second that
right.
the number 2 begins. And then he also said, Amelie annoys the shit out of me. That's a hard question.
Yeah,
he said.
no, I love that
Amelie's
movie.
absolutely stunning. And
I love Amelie. I went when I was in France, when I was in Paris. I went to the Amelie Cafe and I had a meal there, and I went to a lot of the locations.
We've had Jean-Pierre Jeunet on the show.
I had Le Petit Mort
to talk about Amelie
in my Airbnb.
It's a beautiful film. I really, 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 really love it. But this makes you think. Like, the question here is, what's the worst film you can think of? And for Amelie to come into this conversation is a downright offensive, Addison.
Caddyshack 2 is out there, Addison.
Watch your mouth.
Like, I'm not saying Caddyshack 2 is the worst movie ever made.
Because it's not.
But Amelie's a better film.
But the same director of Caddyshack 2 also did Heart Bleeps, and that's a pretty fucking bad movie.
Yeah, that's that and like, was it The Naked Ape? Kind of often thought of as some of the worst movies ever made. The Victoria Principal film.
I've had a good chat with Adam Arkin, the director. Is it Adam Arkin? Is that his name?
Is it the son of Alan Arkin?
No, fuck. Alan Arkush.
Alan Arkush. Oh,
yes,
the Corman guy.
Yes. So
the Rock and Roll High School guy.
He directed Rock and Roll High School. He directed Caddyshack 2 and Heart Bleeps. I've had a chat with him
there's
about
nothing
coming on the show to discuss Caddyshack 2.
There is nothing wrong with Caddyshack 2.
Thank you.
The biggest failing of Caddyshack 2 is that Rodney Dangerfield doesn't appear in it. But
he fucked that up. He was on board. He was signed on to come back, and he pulled out within weeks before filming.
He just didn't want to get her pregnant. That's all.
Well, but they had to scramble, and I think to get Jackie Mason as the replacement is pretty inspired casting.
How close were you to saying Jackie Gleason just then?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. And I mean, everyone else is just a reflection of the previous characters. Dan Aykroyd doing the Bill Murray thing and whatnot, and Jonathan Silverman. Anyway, we're not talking about that. What do we got next?
What's Your Fave podcast has chimed in with Mother from 2017.
It's a Jennifer Lawrence one.
Or You People.
Oh, that for sure. That's terrible. It's the Eddie Murphy one.
Eddie Murphy playing a cunt.
Oh, my God. That sucked. Like, I think I got 35, 40 minutes into it and I pulled the plug.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it was offensive to me. Like, it was really...
Admittedly, we are not the target audience for that film. We are not black and we are not bleeding heart liberals.
Yeah.
So there is...
Because it was Seth Rogen, right?
And look, that is the other problem. Because black or white, I think everyone can find something in Seth Rogen to hate.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, it's not Seth Rogen.
It is Seth Rogen, isn't it?
No, it's Jonah Hill. I mean, maybe Seth Rogen made it, but Jonah Hill is in it.
Really? I thought it was the other way around.
No, it's Jonah Hill.
Even worse, I don't like Jonah Hill at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's Jonah Hill is the...
bloody hell.
Because he gets into the Uber and he thinks that is... I will say that opening gag is pretty funny because she's driving a car and she's lost in this thing and he gets into the back of the car thinking it's the Uber and she's like, He's like, "What the fuck are you? Who are you doing? What are you doing in my car? Who are you?" I'm screaming. And he's like, "Look, sorry, like it says that it's a grey thing, and this is what you look like." And she's like, "Oh, because we all look the same." And then she looks at the picture and goes, "Holy shit, that bitch looks exactly like me."
Yeah, but I mean, they can't
It's
sustain
pretty
the movie
funny.
beyond that part.
No. That gag was pretty funny, but the rest.
And then we had James Thomas, once again from the Bonehead Weekly podcast, came in with, I will say, Ballistic
fucking
X
oath.
versus Sever is the only movie that makes me mad to think about.
I've told you my story about
Yeah.
seeing that.
Yeah. And I've told you I own it and really want to watch it again.
Again, yeah. Because legitimately, I remember at the time thinking all these fucking movies that are based on games have sucked. And they've all had massive marketing campaigns. Ballistic X vs. Sever has had no marketing campaign, is only playing at 10 o'clock at night. Maybe it's fucking awesome. That was incorrect.
It belongs in the same camp as that DOA, the Holly Valance movie.
No, that movie's fucking great. Fuck this. I'm out.
You know how I feel whenever Caddyshack's bought into it.
I only bought it in. I have no problem with Caddyshack too. I only brought it up because you brought it up earlier.
Yeah, but look,
Fucking DOA. What a fucking corker of a film.
Ballistics X vs. Sever, it's nostalgic for me. It was shot in my neighbourhood, so I kind of go down memory lane whenever it's on. It is a pretty bad movie.
It's not even a real game. That's the thing. It was like a bullshit promo game.
It's
fucking dumb.